So I'm a millennial trying to buy a house, and I keep making the mistake of talking to my parents, who are baby boomers, about it. The housing market is obviously very different now than it was when they were buying their first home. And
Welcome to Pegasus versus the World, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and some travel.
City boy! City boy!
All right, y'all. Man, so it's funny because I keep running into videos similar to this. Now, I haven't heard her out, so I don't know the direction she's going. But my last video where I put, I think it was like buying a house a scam. You guys went crazy in the comments, y'all. Y'all were like, yo, buying a house was the best investment I ever made. You know, people were just going nuts. And so I was wondering if maybe I conveyed something wrong, because we were watching a video of a dude from 2017 breaking down price points. And it seemed like everyone in the comments was just like, yo, I disagree. So I started looking at the comments. It seemed like everyone was a little older and bought their houses at a better time, because that inspired me to go on a deep dive with ChatGPT. So me and my wife been looking at houses because I rent. I want to buy a house. I want to be a part of the American dream too, right? So in our area, in the state of Colorado, and we're not in Denver, but it's still expensive. The place we would want to live, the houses are $550,000 to $600,000, right? Now you can still get a pretty good house for about $420,000 out here, but anything under that, you start to get in like neighborhoods that you really don't want to be in, that we don't want to be in, right? So I did the estimates. Now, ChatGPT, I was like, I need the hidden cost because I really need to understand this. So it was the cost of the house, the current interest rates. If you buy in a $600,000 house, who has 20% to put down right now? Raise your hand in the comments. That's $120,000 you got to put down. If you don't have that, then you have a thing called PMI that I didn't know. You have insurance, you have property tax, you have maintenance over time. Long story short, it did this elaborate estimate for me, and it said in 30 years, if it took me 30 years to pay it off, I'd pay about $1.8 million into this house. Maybe it was 1.5, but it was up there where I was like, what? So anyways, with that information, with all what I just told you, everyone that was in the comments section of the house is a scam. I'm not saying buying a house is a scam. I get it. The thumbnail said that. Maybe it said it in the title, and you guys were like, no, it's not. This is what it did for us. And you're right. You're right. Because I think positioning, and like, if I would have bought my crib that I should have in 2020 and 2012, biggest mistake of my life. But anyways, I wasn't ready for it then. You know, I've had most of my success within the last 10 years of my life. So, and I'm 45. Anyways, I think I discovered that I'm a millennial. I don't know. I was born in 1980. I didn't know if I was a millennial or Gen X. Anyways, let's hear this lady out. This is the Gen If Inc. is her TikTok. The disconnect with reality and real, but I can't stop bringing it up. This video kind of went viral. Let me hit her with the heart, and let's just see what she has to say, and we'll keep talking about, people who missed out on the good times, and now I got a family. I'm ready to be a part of this American dream, but I'm just like dumping all this money into a house, and where I'm at personally, entrepreneurially, it does make sense for me to put more money into these businesses because I'm creating studios, like recording studios, podcast studios, content. I'm throwing concerts. It's like, do you put money into these areas where it's going to grow more than 10% and create cash flow, or do you dump it into a house where, yeah, you can pull loans or, you have equity, but it's like, the money doesn't really move. Like if you're an entrepreneur and can kind of move things around and create compounding, cash flow because your businesses or ideas are generating you money, I honestly think in my position, like finding a good deal, buying a house to rent it out, as long as it was profitable renting it out, that'd be smarter for me personally than buying a home for my family and just parking a bunch of money in it that I can't really grow. Like it's, and then anyways, I'm ranting. Let's hear her out and we'll rant some more.
so I'm a millennial trying to buy a house, and I keep making the mistake of talking to my parents, who are baby boomers, about it. the housing market is obviously very different now than it was when they were buying their first home. And I think there is a disconnect there in what we can get and what they think that we should be getting. I'll like send my parents a house and it's like a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and they'll be like, 3 bedrooms? You need way more than that. You guys both work from home. You already have a child, and 1.5 bathrooms? No, you need 2 at least. I don't disagree. But unless you're surprising me with a trust fund that I did not know I had for the first 33 years of my life, this is kind of the situation. And my husband and I commute into the city, and so I'll talk to them about how far it is from the city, and they'll be like, you could never do that commute. What? No, that's way too far. And I'll be like, well, them's the breaks, because we can't really afford anything closer. And so then we have to have a whole conversation about the commute. And then the kicker on all of this is I show them, like I've sent them the listing. They see the price, and then we talk about the price, and they're flabbergasted. And they're like, well, you should not be paying that much for that house. Again, I agree. I too would like to pay less for this house.
You know, it's crazy because I'm in the same boat. I'm in a similar boat, you know. I don't have to commute to work because everything I do, like throwing concerts, like, you know, I can do that from my office, you know, in the sense of sending out contracts, doing negotiations, booking the show. The only time I have to physically be somewhere is if I have to go to the concert and be involved in any of the, you know, day-to-day stuff, which as I've gotten older, I have to do less. Like, I don't have to be there for load-in because I'm not the artist performing, right? We have staff who can go there and run the door and do stuff like that. And then when I'm doing the YouTube stuff or recording music, etc., like, I can do that from my office, from my studios, you know, etc. So I'm a little bit blessed because if I had to work in Denver, like the prices I'm telling you guys might be like $550, $600. It gets you a really nice house in a really nice area in southern Colorado, right? But in Denver, bro, you talking about 1 million, 1.2, unless you live in the outskirts, this, that, and the other. So it just depends. I guess it depends on where you're looking, right? But I don't want to be close to any city at this point. Like I always have this dream of having like 5 or 10 acres kind of out, you know, not too far. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the hell I want. I guess I need to figure that out first. But anyways, the market's wild. You know, I have 2 kids, but this is the thing. We have family that, because we don't live where, like, so my wife's side of the family is all in the South. So I like to do these special things, like when we bring them in, they can all stay with us, right? So we need like enough room to let people stay with us as well. Yeah. But even if take out having extra room for people to stay with us, for us to be able to live, right, with 2 children, and then me needing an area to have my business where I'm record, because I have an office where I can record, but I can also record in my household and then have like a ticket printing area, a bunch of different things like that. We need a certain size house, just entry level, period. And that entry level, for what I've said, I was telling people, hey, you can get some for like $420. That's cool. But for us, like ours is the baseline right now with the prices that you're seeing in the market is $450 baseline. My thing is, if I'm going to pay $450, I might as well just pay $550 and get what we really want. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, she ain't lying. I feel her. I feel like there is a disconnect with generations, but I think every generation had certain, you know, things. You know, I remember my parents telling me this. I think in the 80s, the interest rates went up to like 14% or something. I forget. I'd have to look it up. But there was, you know, this ain't the highest the interest rates have ever been, but it's just like, you know, trying to get it figured out is really, it's a unique time. But I'm not crying about it. I'm just going to keep grinding. I'm going to figure it out. Maybe I don't buy a house. Maybe I buy one when I'm in my 50s. I don't know yet. I'm going to make the best decision for my family. And right now we rent and we have a house and there's love in this house. And I'm very nomadic. I want to travel. I'd rather go live in like Thailand for 2 months than go live in Europe for 2 months and travel around for a full year. Like, that's the type of vibe I'm on, and work from the road. But who knows? Anyways, let's hear her out. She's cooking. She is cooking. I feel her.
but I don't really know what you want me to do. I can't single-handedly change the housing market, unfortunately. And the bigger kicker on this is my dad is actually retired, but he was a real estate developer for a lot of years. And my mom had the audacity of saying, wow, if only 10 years ago you thought about doing this, you could have bought a nice plot of land and your father could have built you a really nice house for way less. What do you want me to do with that information, Mom? I can't go back in time. I too wish I bought a house 10 years ago.
I feel like this lady's my spirit animal, man, because I ain't gonna lie. Me and wifey, I think it was 2012, had the chance, biffed it, should have done it, big mistake, big regret. But if you live there, like people are like, well, you should have just done this. That's not how you move forward. So I totally understand what she's saying, because every now and then I'm like, bruh. Like when we start looking for houses, I'm like, yo, we really messed up, you know. But we were just dating. Like it was early. I was still acting a fool. Like I just was still very immature in 2012. 2012 it is. Yeah. 2012. I think that's when, I don't even know. It could have been, you know. Anyways, golly, man. Yeah, I kick myself in the butt too. Yeah, you know. But we talking about right now in the present. Okay, let's just live in the moment. This is when we need our house. What's the play? But right now, I have noticed that there's this weird thing in the housing market. Prices are slightly going down and rent is going down. So that's interesting.
With what money, Mom? Again, are you good? Like, I love you for you. Tell me about the trust fund now, because apparently there's one hiding for this house that I need to get. And I only have myself to blame because I keep these conversations going. So it's my fault, honestly.
Hey, she took accountability. I like this lady, man. Y'all check her out. The Jennifer Inc., man. I get it. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. We gonna figure it out, though. And my thing is, like, I don't trip. Like, some people are mad at the boomers. I'm just not like that. I just did a video where some woman was mad because Jeff Bezos had this elaborate wedding. Like, who gives a fuck? That's his life, not yours. Who cares? I don't care if the boomers came up. This is my life. I'm going to figure it out. That's just how I rock. So I'm not even, I just talk a little, maybe I get a little convicted when I talk, but I'm not tripping, bro. I'm so dead set on making it happen. It's going to happen, man. We're going to figure it out. Maybe it takes some time. I got to do the right thing, man. I ain't trying to just rush into a crib because I want to live the American dream and then fumble the ball. So anyways, that's my stake to claim. You guys let me know what I got in the comments. And hey, man, tap in, man. Keep telling me how your house was the most amazing investment you made so I could relish in it. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
City boy, city boy.